Alright, here are my 5 best tips on how to get more disciplined, how to gain more self-control. So the first tip is very, very simple. All you need to do is get hyped or get angry. I feel like all of these tips are very personalized to what I've been up to in the past few months, which is doing a whole bunch of 30-day challenges. And for each of these, I always started off with a lot of starting energy, a lot of initial energy that came about from either being angry at myself for not being more disciplined, for not utilizing my time in the best way possible, or from getting hyped, just like being excited about doing a fun 30-day challenge. Those two things really, really helped out in terms of being consistent and also just like feeling like I have more self-control, at least in the beginning, because the start is very, very important. I feel like if you don't have a very good starting point, it's going to be very difficult to maintain whatever you want to do to stay disciplined. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to trick your brain into thinking that whatever you're doing is temporary. So when it comes to discipline and when it comes to self-control and you want to always be in control, it's very difficult to maintain that forever. So the best way to do it is to sort of break it down into, I guess, 30 days or however many days that you want, like a week or 2 or 3, and then just decide, this is when I'm going to try my best to do what I say I'm going to do to maintain discipline, to maintain self-control. And from there, it's really about tricking your brain into thinking, this is the only time period I need to do this, so, we're going to take a break later, so let's give it everything that we got. But eventually, when you try to do the challenge again, it's going to be a whole lot easier. That brings us to tip number 3, succeed. So 2 and 3 are very much intertwined. As long as you have a temporary period where you were able to succeed, like just for a week, even just for a few days, you've proven to yourself that you have that ability. And based on that, you know that if you did it again, you could do it because you've done it already. It's for instance, for me, when I did my 30-day challenge of zero entertainment, I was able to do it again quite easily. Well, I did make 2 days where I failed, but I still did it again. And then it was a struggle to get back on for the third phase, where now I've done it for 50 plus days. But I knew I had the ability to do it again. So having that knowledge just helps with pushing you, helps with knowing that you can trust yourself, that you have belief in yourself basically. Definitely momentum though is important, and if you don't, I guess if you lose that momentum, for sure, it takes another period of starting energy to get back on it. But that's what tip 1 is for. And then tip number 4 is to document the journey. This is basically what I've been doing for this channel for, I guess, the past 3 months, pretty much a year at this point, separately, but more so 3 months, just recording everything. I feel like it's really fun, and also it helps with tracking your progress and building trust with yourself again, because you're always showing up, you're always doing the thing and working on the thing that you say that you want to work on. So documenting the progress, it's a great way to do it. And then the final tip is to always know what the next step is. It really helps when you know what you're doing next on your schedule. Otherwise, you kind of get lost in terms of okay, you're sitting there, you don't know what you're gonna do, there's stuff to do, but you don't know what you need to focus on. You might be overwhelmed. And then your monkey brain sort of takes over and you start doing things that aren't even part of your list of things to do. It happens a lot to me. And I feel like this step is very important. This is one of the steps I'm weakest at and I'm still trying to work on. So definitely always try to clarify what the next step is. So those are the best tips that I got for maintaining greater motivation, more discipline, and just being more self-control. I know it's somewhat tangential. It's not fully about discipline and self-control, but these are the things that really helps me get to the point where I feel like I have way more discipline and self-control. It's you're not exactly thinking about self-control or discipline, but by doing the things that you're saying you're doing and building that trust in yourself, you eventually get to a point where yeah, you can do this, Like, you can do what you set out to do. You can do what you say you're doing. And to me, that's like what discipline is following through on what you say you're gonna do. Okay, that's pretty much it for this one. It's, this is just like a shortened version or like a more quicker version of my main channel video. So go ahead and check that one out if you want, I guess, a bit more interesting scenery. But this fountain is pretty cool. Okay, so it feels like the video I just made is kind of like a worse version of my main channel video, 5 tips on how to be more disciplined. So I guess I want to just give a bit more background. The reason why I decided to make this video was because I'm doing the challenge of 30 days for YouTube, my main channel, and what 15 of those 30 videos are basically looking at other channels out there that are big and have made successful videos and looking at how they made their titles and stuff and basing my video off of their title, but creating my own original like tips and content. And so that's what I did. I think this one was by like Thomas Frank, a productivity YouTuber I used to watch a lot, and he made a video very similar, and he talked about how you want to build habits, you want to do meditation, you want to sort of approach things with your identity, like change how you frame your, like, oh, I don't drink, oh, I'm not a drinker, stuff like that. Getting more sleep and energy and stuff like that. So basically very basic cookie cutter tips that I believe everyone should already technically know, like definitely get more sleep and form habits and stuff. Like it's very simple, but that's why for me, when creating this video, like basically those 15 videos, I like looked at their top performing videos and used those titles, and then I wanted to watch at least some of it to make sure that I'm not gonna create the same thing, and in fact to make sure that I'm creating something different, and also to do some hook analysis, since this challenge is like for me to grow, for me to improve with my YouTube skills. But overall, like most of the hooks were like okay. They weren't like fantastic hooks, but yeah, just a little bit of background because I want this to be more than just a worse version of my main channel video. Next time I'll just do a summary and then talk about like, I guess more of like behind the scenes of why I decided to make the video and more context, more story-based things behind each tip perhaps. But yeah, this one, I mean, everything I thought of on the spot. I was just like, what are the 5 things that really helped me like maintain my consistency and discipline the most? And the 5 tips that I gave were the main things I feel, especially for each of the 30-day challenges that I've done in the past year, past 6 months, I guess. Yeah, definitely super, super helpful. I know it's personalized and I know it's like kind of situational. Like it depends on your lifestyle and depends on what you're doing in order to apply certain tips. But I don't know. I feel like most of them you can apply. Like they're not too hard. Um, but I think that's it for this one. That's just a little bit of background on why I created this video, and I'm kind of curious to how it will perform. But overall, yeah, another thing I'm noticing is like I'm creating these 15 videos based on like titles that were old videos as well. Like, so they're not exactly trending. They're not exactly, that's going to be another challenge, like 30-day challenge in the future, is to make videos based on, I guess, trending things. Probably going to title that challenged 30 days of selling my soul to YouTube. I just think it's fun. Like, and for this one, I'm not tricking myself into thinking that it's temporary. It will be temporary. Like there's a difference between like knowing that something is temporary versus tricking yourself into thinking it's temporary to train yourself to do it more often because it's good for you. Like for instance, zero entertainment, or not eating certain foods, like cleaning up your diet, or not looking at your phone in the morning. That's actually a challenge that I'm doing right now. Like I just don't look at my phone at all in the morning, get up, do my thing, and do work first. And then after work is done, or like the priority work, I look at my phone. So yeah, lots of challenges going on right now actually, and it's fun. It's really really fun. I think that's another big thing actually. It's like to actually do things that you enjoy. Otherwise, it's gonna really suck to yeah I don't know do things that you know is good for you that helps you do the things that you enjoy more. That's the way I like to see it because technically I enjoy entertainment stuff, but I feel like removing it and spending the time doing other things like these challenges and YouTube and all that stuff, it's more fun that way. And that's why I'm able to like not really care about the fact that I'm not watching entertainment because I'm doing things that I'm having fun with. It's like my own version of entertainment, but it's my life. Okay, that's about it. Hopefully this adds to the video and makes it like less, I guess, of a nothing video because I don't like repeating. Uh, well, repeating is fine. It just feels too similar to my main channel video. So yeah, I needed to add this. Okay, that's it for this one. Catch you guys in the next one.